Hi everyone, I'm here today to do another cumulative reflection on our readings, and this is my second reading reflection on weeks 5 through 6. So let's go ahead and get started. So for week 5, I looked at chapter 5 of the English as a Second Language Manual, and that chapter specifically focused on ESL program models. So of those models, there are 3 that I have observed in my current internship placement, and those are content-based English instruction, pull-out instruction, and push-in instruction. I have observed all 3 of those actually in my current internship. So if you are currently in an internship, I would be interested to know what program models that you have observed, so comment and let me know. But aside from that, one quote that really stuck out to me from this chapter was this quote right here, and it just says, "Districts have the freedom to select the models most suited for the needs of its students, as there is no single federal or state-mandated ESL program model." So from my observation in my internship, this is definitely the case, and I was just really happy to read that there's really nothing that's mandated. I like that the districts can choose kind of on their own to fit the needs of their students, which I think is very important. And definitely, of course, my mentor teacher alone does 3 different program models based on the needs of all of her students, so that's definitely the case in my observations. Also in chapter 5, we look at the 8 components of I call it siop, or the SIOP. And those are lesson preparation, building background, comprehensible input, strategies, interaction, practice and application, sheltered lesson delivery, and review and assessment. So of those, I would just be curious to know, what do you think about these 8 components, and is there anything that you think there might be missing? Just curious. And aside from that, I also really liked this chart. So it has student examples, and then has the program models, and then has the pros and the cons of this, this example and this program model, which I really liked, because I feel like a lot of times whenever we read like state documents, they just kind of want to focus on like the positives of a program model, but I really appreciated that this had pros and cons of each of the program models, and just things that you need to be considerate of when using these program models with your students. So I really like that. And then the second article for week 5 was A Matter of Design, EL Program Models for K-12. And I really liked this chart. I really thought this was really informational about just the 3 different programs: dual language, transitional, bilingual education, and English only. So of these 3, I would just be curious to know, which do you prefer of the 3? I personally really like dual language. I know that's not very popular or common, but if I could have my choice in the classroom, I would love to be a part of a dual language program. And I also really liked this chart. I thought this was very informational, especially how integrated are ELs with non-ELs. So fully separate, supported by a specialist, and taught by a general education teacher. The only thing that I thought was weird about this chart was actually this little section right here. I don't know, when I maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but when I read this, I just felt like in this, like, ELs taught by general education teacher only for the English language development, shouldn't at least gen ed teachers be scaffolding and providing differentiation and accommodations for ELs? I don't know, that seemed kind of odd to me, but anyways, maybe I'm misinterpreting it. Would also love to hear your thoughts on this. Then for week 6, I looked at Teaching English Language Learners Tips from the Classroom, and this was a pretty lengthy article. And it basically had all these different sections, and then had like a detailed description under each of these. So I just kind of took the time to type up kind of the outline of that article so I could just kind of see it all on one page, because it was pretty lengthy. And I just really liked reading this article, and I won't go into much detail, but they had the 3 sections of differentiating instruction, encouraging intrinsic motivation for academic achievement, and then using affirming form of error correction, which all 3 of these are very important topics. And I learned a lot from this article. I really liked it, and it was just nice to have the outline of everything so I can refer back to this and remember it. Then in week 6, I also looked at the 6 principles for exemplary teaching of English learners. And this is the book. I have definitely read this, seen this chart sometime before, but it's been a long time. So this was a great refresher because I completely forgot about this, and I'm glad that I got to see it again. And I love this chart. So you have the first one is know your learners. The second one is create conditions for language learning. The third is design high-quality language lessons. The fourth is adapt lesson delivery as needed. The fifth is monitor and assess language development. And then the sixth is engage and collaborate within a community of practice. So I'd be curious to know, what do you think? Is there anything missing, or would you add anything to this chart? I think this is really awesome, but I will say one thing that I would like to add, if I could, to this chart is just in this part 1 right here of know your learners. I would add and build personal relationships with your learners. Because in my opinion, it's not just about knowing your learners. Yes, that is important, but in order to know them, you also have to build a personal relationship with them. And that's definitely what enhances the learning in the classroom and the respect in the classroom, definitely. So if I could add anything to that chart, that's what it would be. But overall, this is a great chart and definitely a great program model for teaching English language learners. That's all I have for this reading reflection. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to hear your thoughts on all these readings. I'll see you next time. Bye!